Welcome back to another video, guys. Today it is time to officially reveal my 2020 Drift Season Pro-Am car. Now I'm really excited to finally get around to this thing. It's been on ice for like the past 10 months. It's been sitting in the back of the shop. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it here and there, but let me introduce you to my S14. Well, here she is. Little backstory on this car. Now, this was actually my very first drift car. I paid $2,300 for the thing. I've had it for about 3 years now. I used to drift it stock KA before I went to the E36. So I've had this thing for a long time. It's very close to me, but it's time for it to get a little bit of an upgrade from the KA24 to a little bit of something better. So I'm gonna go and start off with a quick walk around for you guys. Since it's up in the air, I'm gonna start underneath. Full wise fab in the front, custom spec BCs for the setup that I'm currently running. As you can see, these tension arm brackets are pretty jank, so I do have some fancy street faction ones that are all reinforced and look really beautiful if you ask me. So gotta toss those in. So in the back I do have a custom fuel cell. So a buddy of mine, Charlie from Momentum Manufacturing, custom made this for me. So he pretty much just cut out the tub in the back, dropped in this piece of sheet metal and these cross members, so the fuel cell will sit right in here. Got wise fab in the rear, solid diff bushing, solid subframe bushings, everything's solid. Any bushings on here are 100% solid. We have a custom exhaust from Charlie. Once again, he straight piped it. He did a really good job on that. As you can tell, it's super clean under here. I did spend a whole lot of time trying to clean the underbody of this just to make it look really nice. So we do have a brand new Nissan CD00A. So it's like a CD009, but it's the brand new one from Nissan. Came in a crate. Still need to put some fluid in that. Of course, we have some wise fab up front, along with brand new power steering rack. I'm thinking about reinforcing the subframe just a little bit more right here, just enough where this arm can swing down, but just give it a little extra structure. And powering this beast is a 2JZ GTE VVTi. I bought this from JDM in Dallas. All I did to it was a ARP head studs and a good head gasket, and everything else internals is bone stock. I did put some new pulleys and a dampener on the front. Of course, a single turbo. This is a Garrett GTX 3576R Gen 2. Hoping to make anywhere from between 450 to 600 horsepower. I'd also like to have a couple tunes where I can run 450 on one track, and if I need to run 550 on another, I can do so. This is a wiring Specialties harness. So what's super nice about this is that each one of these is actually labeled, and it's all brand new harness. So makes wiring up super easy. See, that says ECT, and all these other ones will say whatever, oil temp and stuff like that. That makes it super easy. That way we can go ahead and run it into the cabin in here. And I am running ECU Master Black ECU along with their PMU, which is sitting over there. And then, which is super nice, is this custom switch panel that they have. And they have all these little buttons that you can put on here. And you can make this one ignition, or you can make this one your headlights or wipers, or, you know. Tagged along with that is the, let me walk around, the super fancy ECU Master digital dash. It's the 7-inch one, which will be super nice. That way I can program it to, if oil pressure gets low or water temp gets a little high, I can have it warn me on the screen and you can see it. You can just read everything on this thing. It's pretty insane what these things will do. Mishimoto intercooler, chase bays, radiator, dual pass, street faction bash bars, list goes on. Here's where we are now. As you guys can tell, the car has a lot of work to be done on it, and I'm kind of at the point where it's time to really just grind out those little things that kind of suck. So the motor's in and all this stuff. Where we go from now is I do actually want to pull the motor back out and repaint the car. Ever since painting the barn find build, I really want this thing to look really nice. Not perfect, because I know it's going to get banged up over time. I do need to clearance the tranny tunnel just a little bit, because that's a problem with the CDs. They're really big, so when you swap into an S chassis, the tranny tunnel needs to get kind of banged out a little bit or cut. But I think it's going to look really nice. It should look really clean, and if I do want to wrap it someday to throw a little livery on it, I think it'll be a good setup to do so. So I do actually have a wide body kit for it sitting over the corner. I've had these parts laying around here for such a long time. I just need to get around to putting them on. I've never done a lot of this stuff before, so I don't really know how to do it, and I'm not the best with craftsmanship in the world, so this is definitely a learning experience for me. There's just a lot of little things that I've noticed that will take some time with this car and stuff, like this, like these seat brackets right here, like simple stuff like these seat brackets that I actually do in a powder coat. Since I can do that in my cheap little oven sitting back there, you know, I'll spend the time to do that to make it look nice. But my plans for 2020 is to take this thing down to Texas and compete in the Lone Star Drift Pro-Am series, which is new to me. I've never done Pro-Am before. I've tried to do in the S13, but that car kept breaking. 2020 2020 drift competition, really trying to be competitive in this car. And this car should be really, really competitive down there. It should definitely hang with those guys. So if you're asking if it's Zinky or kooky, this car is Zinky. However, I am going to kooky convert it. I do have everything. It's literally just sitting in the back and on these shelves. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this thing. I'm bringing you guys along. We can learn together. So I've been really doing some research, trying to figure out how to do it. I need to get the battery 12 volts up to the PMU. So I have this little kit here. I paid like 40 bucks for this kit. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying this out, because my plan is to have like the ECU and PMU, which the PMU is like the electronic fuse box. I'm gonna have it kind of sitting right here where my finger's at, somewhere around there. It's been a couple days since that last shot, and I've really been thinking hard and long about this upcoming drift season. And I think I kind of want to throw a little curveball here with what we currently have going on. So I'm gonna start off with the S14. The S14 is my main priority right now. It has so much potential, so many good parts in it. I need to get that kind of going in the right direction. I've decided that I'm actually gonna send it off to a shop. It's about 3 hours away in Wichita, Kansas. They know a lot of 2J stuff. It's called Fusion Works. Let me know what you guys think. Have you heard of Fusion Works? Got any good recommendations? I'm looking for somebody who knows 2JZs. I'm looking for somebody who knows 2JZs and has worked with a lot of wiring stuff. Apparently they have really good reviews. They know a lot of the wiring. They've worked with a little bit of the ECU master stuff in the past. Honestly, there's not that many people here in the Midwest that know or have worked with the ECU master setups before, besides the guy who owns it down in Texas or something. If you have any recommendations on wiring specialists in the Midwest, please let me know, especially people who've worked with the ECU master stuff. That's mainly kind of what I'm looking for. So that's gonna be settled. And now what I'm thinking on is I'm actually gonna be selling my 370Z. I gotta walk, I'm tired of sitting. Yeah, I know, I shaved, it'll be back. So my thought process with the 370Z is, I bought it as a seat time car, something really reliable, which has been pretty reliable. However, to get it where I really want it, to really dial it in, like to put bucket seats and a harness and steering wheel and potentially cage it, because I can't drive Texas Motor Speedway without a cage. That's gonna be another several $1,000s, and at that point I'm gonna be in the car a lot of money, honestly. Here's what I've been thinking. I have so many cars, honestly, guys. Let me show you. So got the S14. This is Pro-Am. S13, it was supposed to be a seat time car. It's more of a comp car. E36, I love this thing. It's caged. That's a endurance Subaru car. Don't worry about that. Got the bar and fan, of course. That's gonna keep going, and that's my 370Z. So that's a drift car. That's a drift car. That's a drift car, and that's a drift car. So I have 4 drift cars. That's too many. I can't keep the So it definitely takes a lot of time and money to keep all these cars working in the correct order. This is my 3rd time trying to film this. This is my 3rd time trying to make this video. That's mainly due to the fact that plans just keep changing, but I think I finally figured out kind of the direction I'm going for next drift season. So if you're new, 2019 drift season for me involved the S13 along with my 370Z. So I started off in my S13 that's sitting right here. Got a little taste of what power is like. It needs a few little things. It needs to be kind of ironed out in a few areas, mainly the wiring. So I was getting really frustrated with that. I was like, is this really what I want to do? And I heard such good things about the 370Z, 350Z. Ended up purchasing a Z, drifted that for quite some time there at the end of the season. Really liked it, but it's gonna take some money to kind of get it where I'd really feel comfortable with it. But I still sit here with my S13 and 370Z that I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with that. So if you haven't seen the S13, this is it here. Has a 6.0 LQ9 LS in it. I didn't build this car, this is how I bought it. Where we're currently sitting with the drift car setup is I am going to actually go ahead and keep this S13. I'm going to redo the wiring in it. I'm going to put a Holley system, Holley standalone ECU, give it a nice little refresh, redo some of the wiring for like fuel pumps and stuff like that, and alternator, because we were having problems with that, the fuse popping on the fuel pump. This is going to be after this is done. This is going to be more of a practice beater car, I guess you can call it. Something I can go out to my local Oklahoma events and just thrash and get as much quality seat time in as I can. And this is going to mainly be the car that I take down to Texas and do Pro-Am with, and hopefully limit the wear on this setup with using this setup as a practice car, maybe a little bit cheaper to run as well. At one point I was thinking about kind of turboing this E36 and making it a practice drift car. However, the amount of money I'd have to put into this versus the amount of money I could put into this and make it good, the S13 ended up kind of coming out on top. Plus, this car is not broken. It runs great, drives great, great on the street. So I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe one day we'll get around to kind of building it, putting a little turbo on it. But that is kind of my 2020 drift plans. My main goal is to drift. I don't want to compete in Pro-Am. I've been drifting for 2 years now, and I've not done a whole lot of comp stuff with it, and I really enjoy it. So I'm trying to build a really competitive setup, that way I can go and not be really limited by my car, mainly speaking from like the E36 or a 370. Those are not Pro-Am cars. Let me know what you guys think of the setups down in the comments below. I really want to hear your opinions on it. 2020 is going to be absolutely insane. I'm really trying to dial some things in around here. It's really exciting. I got a couple guys planning on going down to the events with me, helping me with the cars and filming for you guys. But hopefully that covered everything. I've tried to film this a few times on this camera and my old camera and like last week, so hopefully I can piece all this together in the edits for you guys where it makes sense. But I want to thank you guys so much for all your support. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Got a lot of builds on the channel. I'm just trying to organize it all where it just makes sense and comes together, but it'll get there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I'll catch you guys in the next one.